Who's responsible for the quality of my life? And who's responsible for the quality of the life and in my environment, my neighborhood? In the past, many people with a handicap lived in institutions, beautifully located but far away from the society. That has changed. Nowadays, it's common policy that people with a handicap live in the community as everybody else, as full citizens. So I was very pleased, 6 years ago, that an organization opened a house for assisted living in my village, the village of Eisden. And these newcomers, these new villagers came, and I started observing them. It's my professional interest. And after a while, I wasn't that pleased anymore, because I saw these people only as a group with their personal staff. They didn't integrate in the village. They didn't mingle with the villagers at all. So one day I rang the doorbell, and talked to a member of staff, but she didn't quite understand what I meant to say. So I went home again. And 1 or 2 years later, another organization started renovating, enlarging a big house in our village for their clients with a mental handicap. And I phoned them up, and I made an appointment with the director. And I told him, "Sir, if you transfer 10 of your clients to our village, it's your responsibility that these people integrate and participate as full citizens of our village." And he said, "Yeah, that's my conviction, it's my mission, but how to do it, I don't know." I said, "Okay, let me give it a try." And I phoned about 14 people. Some of them I knew personally, others I didn't know at all. But I knew it was a politician, some professionals, some key persons in the community. And I told them what I was thinking and invited them for a 1-hour meeting. And everybody came, everybody. And after 1 hour, the politician and the professional said, "Goodbye, you take it up yourselves." And we, as inhabitants of our village, said, "Yeah, of course, it's our responsibility too to help these people integrate and participate. They belong to our community." So we received them when they came. And I'll show you the pictures of 5 of them. They're still living there after 6 years, starting with Alphonse and Harry, and Joop Matatula, and Marit, and Ton, and 5 others. And we met them. It was very nice people. And then we said, "What would you like to do? What are your hobbies? Do you have special wishes?" And some people said, "We like to swim." And we arranged that they could swim every week with the local fire brigade in the swimming pool. Some other people said, "We like to paint and draw." And a local artist opened his studio every Saturday morning to work together with sometimes 5, 6, 7 people. And Harry, you saw him, Harry, he loved football. And 2 weeks later, he became the coach of the 4th team of our local football club. The club provided him with a training jacket with that big coach on the back. And he was a linesman. Sometimes he didn't wave the flag very correctly, but everybody loved him. And he was a key person within the football club from then on. And there are more examples. But we moved on from there. We started doing things together. Every Thursday, now, in 1 hour time, it will happen. A couple of volunteers go to the marketplace with some of the people from Pieterke, as the house is called, and they do the shopping, cook together, eat together. We celebrate all national holidays and carnival. We go out for concerts, etc., etc. We organize a Christmas dinner. It's next week. We organize big barbecues in the garden for the whole neighborhood. And I could give you more examples. And we went on from there. What we saw was, one more example, we renovated the garden. It was a major project. We didn't know what we began on. And you see, part of the team of volunteers and people of Pieterke, during a break, it was not all the time, it was hard labor, not all the time like this. But we moved on from there. What we saw was that the people felt comfortably in the village and moved around freely and went to the shop and to the pub and to the market, met other people, visited people in their homes. So it was a success. We stood up, we got up, we fought for them and the quality of our village. And it was a big pleasure and enrichment for ourselves as well. At the same time. And we got a lot of publicity. We got a lot of money, much money than we could use. Everybody supported us. And last year we got 4 awards. 3, I'm lying, 3 awards. And we celebrated and we enjoyed it tremendously. But afterwards I thought, well, there was something on my mind. I said, as long as we win awards, it's not normal what we do. It should be normal in every village, in every community. We should fight for each other and lend each other a hand if somebody needs some support. So we have a long way to go. At the same time, you see many initiatives in many neighborhoods and villages in this province of Limburg and the whole country, people who stand up, see a chance or see a problem and tackle it together. In this country, big changes are taking place in a social domain. The national government, the central government transfers very important authorities to the local communities, the municipalities. And they combine it with heavy, serious budget cuts. Nasty combination. And then our king stood up and spoke up during his annual speech to Parliament, written by politicians. And he said, well, people, we are living in a participation society now. Don't lean on the government all the time. You need to take some responsibility for your own life, and you need to lend a hand to people who need some support. You should show some initiative. And at first I thought, yes, that's what's in my mind and in my heart as well. These are my values, it's my conviction. But afterwards, I wasn't very lucky with that speech for 2 reasons. First of all, I noticed that people combined budget cuts, responsibility in their heads. Many people said, don't speak about responsibility, it's all about money. And secondly, I thought, I don't think the government can impose responsibilities upon citizens. It doesn't work. It should come from inside, from all of us. That's the good way to stand up and get up and do things. The municipalities were confronted with people they didn't know, with problems they didn't know at all. Psychiatric problems, mental handicaps, brain damage, and so on. And while this was happening, one man stood up, and you'll see his picture. His name is Richard. And he's one of the bravest persons I know. He's a very strong man, though he's a very frail man. And he was worrying like hell. His home situation is very complicated. He has 2 autistic sons with very complex diagnosis. And it took him a marriage, cost him a marriage, took him quite some time to get the support for his sons arranged. And he succeeded. Then he thought, when my municipality should take over this responsibility, it's going to be a disaster. They don't know what they are talking about. So he went to The Hague, where our government resides. He talked to members of parliament, and he ended up, miracles exist, he ended up at the minister's table. And the minister talked to him, not only talked to him, listened to him, and did something with the information. He sent very high-placed civil servants to the region where Richard lives, with a very clear and simple message to the decision makers. Go and talk to the people who are affected by these transitions, this transfer of authorities. Go to listen to people who know better than anybody else what's going on. And these decision makers, these politicians said, yes, of course we will, of course. And my phone rang, and they said, Arthur, could you help us? How should we want to do it, it's important, but how should we do it? I said, okay, let me think about it. And then I had an idea. and I asked a couple of people for advice. I said, I need some people with various backgrounds who are willing and able to tell their personal stories, maybe for the first time in their lives, for an audience of decision makers they've never met before. And I found these people. A couple with a mental handicap, a boy with a serious addiction, a lady with a very rare disease, progressive, an elderly lady, 90 years old. She needed care, but she cared for her sister who was younger, who had Alzheimer. And I went to them and visited them in their houses. And I sat there sometimes for hours. And they told me everything about their lives. I thought, never ever in your life has anybody listened to you. And they came forward and they stood up and spoke up in front of an audience like this for the first time with their very intimate personal stories. I saw some people crying. They were very moved. It had a huge impact. These people changed from figures and statistics to people with a face and a name and a voice. Everything changed. Everybody went out differently than he or she came in. It had a huge impact. And then other municipalities heard it and they asked, could you come and do it here as well? I said, yes, of course. In every city where we did it, all over the province, I found new people, local people, who spoke the right dialect, who were known. And everybody did it, again, again, again. It was a wonderful experience. And then, after I met about 100 people, and sitting for many evenings on couches all over the place, I saw some organizations and municipalities following in the footsteps and inviting people to speak up during various occasions. Development of a program or evaluation of policy. Talk to people, listen to people, and you become richer and wiser. And then I developed my own very subjective theory. It goes like this. It's kind of a waterfall. First of all, I know that the authentic voice of the people, their stories, is my conviction, the best available source we have. I respect science, research, evidence-based methods, professional insights, but this is the best source we have. And if politicians or managers use this source, integrated in their policy, for example, and they give it back to the people, they recognize it. Somebody listened to us, somebody respects us, somebody did something with what we brought forward. So you get, as a politician, Ferdinand, for example, you get the support you need from the people. The other way around is far more difficult. You come with a plan and you ask the people, can you support my plan? No. It's the plan of the people themselves. And when you get this support, it's far more easy to get the collaboration in practice when you go to implement something. It's their thing. It's something they brought forward, their idea or their wish. And if you do so, budget is no problem at all. I'm convinced. We have far too more money, even if everybody complains about money nowadays. I think 50% of the budget in the social domain serves the interests of the people. And the other 50% serves the interests of the system. It's a terrible system we built. And we have a chance to build a new system now, the municipalities, but I'm afraid what I see, we are building a new bureaucracy. And that's what we have to prevent. Now, the Province of Limburg sent out 3 scouts to monitor these transitions. They talked to decision makers, managers, everybody. And they were almost ready. And then they thought, well, we didn't talk to the citizens. And my phone rang again, and they said, Arthur, could you come with a group of people? Yes, of course. So I picked 15 people from my wonderful network, and we went to the provincial government building, and it had the same impact as all the times before. It was very impressive. These people were thinking in terms of the triple helix. It's a term from the economy. when 3 big clusters built big economic projects together. And after our visit, they made a quattro helix from it. For the first time, the citizens were accepted as an equal partner. We went for a meeting with 60 people, me and my 15 friends, and people from all clusters of society, science, institutions, municipalities, and we worked for 24 hours. We tried to understand each language, each other's language. We came up with ideas, selected themes, and we formed groups which are building now upon the province-wide movement. It's happening right now while I speak, and there's progress. We are succeeding to build upon this new society we're all longing for, which we need. And maybe it takes us 10 years or 15 years to get there, to introduce the old values in this modern society, and to let everybody adopt a new attitude and new competences. And the people are a partner. Everybody listens to them. So we gained a lot. And I worked for, I think, 38 years by coincidence in the social domain. It's not my original profession. And I think the last 5 years were wonderful years. They were very satisfying because of this collaboration with ordinary people who were so very strong, who fought for the quality of their lives, who brought forward such wonderful ideas and experiences. So I got my satisfaction, plenty of it. I'm very happy now that this is part of the last phase of my career. And I learned an awful lot. First of all, that we should not talk about other people who need support. It's about all of us. It's about ourselves, everybody, without an exception. Sooner or later, we all need support or care, or our next of kin of our neighbors or our friends. And everybody has his or her talents. Everybody can render a contribution. So it's about all of us. And I learned that it's logical that we, as citizens, all of us, are the owners of our lives and of our neighborhoods. That other people, the institutions, the municipalities, should adopt a more serving role towards the citizens. And I learned at the same time, nobody can do it alone. We need to work together. All parties involved should work together to achieve what we want to achieve, a new, lasting society with old values. That's what I learned. And I hope the ball keeps on rolling. And then some people say to me, Arthur, you're too optimistic. You're an optimist. It will not work. And I say, well, I don't think so. I'm a very serious man. I'm not sure I'm an optimist. And some people say to me, Arthur, you're a very naive man. I said, no, I'm not. I don't know whether I'm an optimist or not, but I'm not naive. I think I'm a realist because I see the progression nowadays. I see that we can book results step by step, step by little step, we get further. And I'm a realist in concluding that it's our responsibility and we can do it ourselves. We are not dependable upon others. We can do it and we can do it and we will do it. That's my belief. If we all stand up, get up, stand up for our rights, get up, stand up, don't give up the fight.
Get up, stand up.
Come on.
Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Come on now. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Ladies and gentlemen, Janssen.
Thank you.